What is up, Crockxen clan members and others who have stumbled upon this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen, and the fan needs to stop right now because it's really annoying me. I can see it in the corner of my eye through the mirror. But today we have the Insane Game Freak is doing another one of those comparison videos for the Pokemon series, and we are doing rivals this time. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do another one. Previously I did the ones for the female companions, so rivals. So today we have Gary versus Paul. This is the first round of the thing that he's doing. Now, for me, it was a tough decision, to be honest. I actually was waiting for him to do this because he had announced it a while ago that he was planning to do this, and then he just announced it today. And I was like debating, and I was looking, I was thinking, and I love Gary. I'm not gonna lie, the dude is awesome. But for this round, I'm gonna have to give the victory to Paul. Now, I know I'm probably gonna get hate for that, but listen, you got chill. To me, Gary was the perfect friend slash rival for Ash. Yes, because of their past together, they already had a previous connection and all this stuff, and it made their rivalry really good. And the fact that Gary was always one step ahead of Ash and always showed off to Ash, that made the relationship work. It was great. It was great to see that. But in my opinion, I mean, regardless of how much hate I throw at Sinnoh, Paul, to me, pushed Ash to his limits. It was one of those rivalries where you could see the opposites clashing, which is exactly what Paul does. He's the exact opposite of Ash, so his methods for training Pokemon are the opposite of Ash's, meaning that Ash has to improve his way so that it can overcome this other strategy, so he can prove to Paul that his is a better strategy, or his better way of training, and the way he acts with his Pokemon. And we see this right from the beginning with Ash and Gary. We got to see Gary's side of things, where Gary was like, I'm going to be ahead of you at every step of the way. We got that. But with Paul, you got to see his attitude towards training Pokemon from the get-go. And not only that, but he had prior experience, which meant that even though the first match for Ash in the Sinnoh region, it was a loss/tie, but it made sense. Paul's a veteran by this point. He's already been to the other regions where Ash has been, and he's also participated in the leagues in the other regions like Ash. The only one that he didn't do was the Battle Frontier, so maybe he didn't have as much experience as Ash, but he was still a competent trainer, right? He had already like a bunch of Pokemon and all this stuff. So right from the get-go, we have a veteran versus a veteran, even though they made Ash stupid in this region. But it was still veteran versus veteran. And just all the fight. I mean, Gary and Ash never really battled until. I mean, they had their little like contests, like competitions and stuff, and they never really battled. It's been a while, but if I recall, until the Johto League, which meant that even though they were rivals, it's more about like who could get ahead of the other. Whereas with Paul, Ash battled him multiple times, and Paul always came out victorious. Which kind of made Paul be like, see, my way is the better way, which meant Ash had to again try to improve himself so that the next time he battles Paul, he could trump him this time. And then the league match was amazing. I mean, not to say the Gary versus Ash fight was cool, but the clash of ideals in the league was I don't want to say it was better, but it was more defining than the one with Gary and Ash. Well, that one was just I finally caught up to you, Gary, and I'm now going to surpass you kind of like battle, whereas the other one is like, now I'll prove to you that my way is better than your way kind of thing. So they both have their positives, but I feel like the fact that Ash has to prove himself, or prove that his way is the better way, is better than better than him just going, I now surpass you, even though I technically was better than you to begin with. Because as we all know, Ash got farther than Gary in the first league. So I technically feel like he was already superior to Gary by the time they battled in the Johto League. But Gary does show up again and does show off that he's still training, even though he turned into a professor, or like he still has the knowledge that he had prior to becoming a professor. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to try to explain my reasons for Paul, but it's just that Paul's ideals and the fact that they clash with Ash makes him to me the better rival of the two. Not to say Gary's not bad. I mean Gary's bad. Gary's amazing. But I mean Paul's Pokemon's were pretty cool too. I do have to say that I mean at least he gave Torterra a chance to shine because as we all know Ash's Torterra was garbage. Like straight up. Like they made Torterra the Torkoal of Gen 4, which is kind of sad because both Pokemon are pretty good at what they do. It's just I don't know why the fact that the writers had to have this one outshine everything else. It's like kind of weird. Because I really wanted to see Torterra. Torterra was not a bad Pokemon in Gen 4 like at all. And so when Ash got Turtwig, I was really excited to see where this was gonna go. Even though I was like, oh, he's probably not gonna evolve, but then he did. And then it sucked because they tried to focus everything on Infernape, which was another thing. I should probably bring that up right now. Infernape, the Chimchar saga probably made this rivalry better than the one with Ash and Gary because they didn't have this where Gary had a Pokemon that Ash then had. Paul's way of training Chimchar in order to acquire the power of Blaze and control it and become this beast Pokemon didn't work, but the transition from Paul's way to get to Ash's way Ash was able then to prove, hey, I was able to get Chimchar to control Blaze and then become this overpowered Pokemon that's able to destroy everything. I mean, like I said, they really tried to push Infernape to be like, hey, this is the one you should be focused on. Because even the battle between him and Paul, Infernape's the one that did the most damage out of any Pokemon in his team. If everybody remembers, like he defeated what was it? Gosh, I can't remember. I think it was Aggron. Yeah, I think it was Aggron. He defeated Ninjask. He defeated the Electivire. He defeated what else did Paul have in that match? Because I know Buizel defeated the Gastrodon, and then Gliscor defeated the Drapion. Oh, Frostlass was Pikachu. But anyway, 3 out of the 6 Pokemon were defeated by Infernape. So yeah, like that was Ash saying, in your face, I was able to train Chimchar and evolve him into this beast Pokemon, and then just annihilate your team. I don't know, like that was another like a showing of, hey, my way is better than yours. So yeah, like and the fights, all the fights that they had were pretty cool. And again, and you got to see Paul like, I mean, kind of change. I mean, his way was still his way throughout the series, but it kind of fluctuated at certain times, especially like when he talked to Cynthia and when they had that conversation going. And then during the double battle competition where Ash, the whole taking control over the battle because Paul had given up, when they were in the, what was the other one? I know there was another time where you saw him, when he was battling Brandon, and the fact that he had to acknowledge Ash because Ash was able to beat Brandon and he couldn't. So I mean, there was times where you could see Paul like kind of question himself, but then he would still stay as Paul, catching the strongest and releasing the weak and only using what he felt was good enough. And then at the final step, when he battled Ash and Ash won that one-on-one battle between Ash and Infernape against Paul and his Electivire, that final clash, which finally proved that Ash was the better trainer, Paul finally realized, hey, maybe my way isn't the only way, and then acknowledged Ash one final time before leaving to get better at training Pokemon. So I mean, it was kind of like a nice ending where. So I don't know. To me personally, Paul is the better rival. Um, they actually him and Gary have some similar Pokemon. I just noticed that. Anyways, that's not even what matters. Um, Pokemon wise, it's kind of mixed. I like both the Pokemons that each one has. Um, but yeah, so that's basically it. This is really short video. It's like really short. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think I had a lot more to say about the other characters because there was a lot more to say about the other characters, or like the companion female companions because they were with or they were with Ash, meaning that you saw them more often than the rivals. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for my thoughts. Like I said, I will give this victory to Paul just because it pushed Ash to his limits, whereas Gary was more of trying for him to catch up. Like Ash was just trying to catch up, whereas with Paul, it was literally like, I'm going to show you my way is better than yours, which I feel is a better one of the two. Um, but anyways, guys, that's it for this video. I'm sorry if it was like a ramble / weird. It was really crazy. I didn't really plan this out as good as I should have. But hopefully for the next one, if I decide to do it for the next one, depending on what he chooses to be the other two rivals, it might be better. So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been SoresanCrockxen. Leave your thoughts down below. Which one of these two is your favorite? And don't forget to check out his video. I'll probably put a link after he uploads his in like the description or something. Or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when that happens. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in later videos.